gain this knowledge. So it was about all that. And then the next one was, we'll see, Krishna removes misconception. And then he removing reactions, which was karma, what is vikarma, and what is akarma. That is what we learned. And after that, it was sacrifices 4.25 to 4.42, caliber versus character, and teacher, you need a bona fide guru to train. And then topmost sacrifice is, what is it? It is chanting. We have to chant Hare Krishna, then read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam and have sense control. So who can chant? That is devotees. What will they chant? Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Reading is spiritual scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and 4 regulative principles to get some kind of spiritual, to go on spiritual realm. That was chapter 4 that we did last week. So this week we are going to do chapter 5. Chapter 5 we have divided into 6 sections, out of which we will be doing 3 sections, almost like 3, not completely 3. 5.1 to 6, Nishkam Karma. We will explain what Nishkam Karma is. It is easier than renouncing work. Section 2 deals with how to perform that Nishkam Karma. Then section 3 deals with platform of knowledge, knowing there are 3 doers that we'll come to know. Section 4 deals with liberation, freedom. How? By focusing on the super soul. Section 5 deals with liberation through Ashtanga Yoga. These are just 2 shlokas here, 1 or 2. And section 6 is 1 shloka, that is peace formula we will learn. You must have done in level 1 as well. So let's move on to chapter 5, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So in the last verse of chapter 4, Lord Krishna had said, right, Tasmad Ajnana Sambhutam Vit Samgyana Sinatmanaha Chitvainam Samshayam Yogam Atishto Tishta Bharata, he says, whatever you doubts that you have, now you have gained knowledge, right? Jnana Yoga, you have gained knowledge. Now your heart, whatever your doubts were there in your heart, which had come out of ignorance, now you should slash it, remove it from by the weapon of knowledge. He tells Arjuna, right? And he says in the Uttishto, you get up and fight now. So now chapter 5 is opening with a question similar to that we learned in chapter 3. What was that? Which is better? Arjuna is again asking, work in devotion or renunciation of work? Again, Arjuna has this doubt. Krishna will answer this Arjuna's question by, he will say, be like a lotus leaf. And then we'll get to know there also. And then he will explain the process of liberation through Karma Yoga. It is in greater depth than chapter 3. Chapter 3 was Karma Yoga. This is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. In little bit in depth also, and how to perform Nishkam Karma, how to liberate yourself by focusing in the supreme or having equal vision and peace formula. Let's see how it is, how it goes. So section 1 deals with Nishkam Karma, easier than renouncing work. Arjuna again is asking whether to renounce work is superior to working with detachment. What is better, Krishna? Please tell me. Should I renounce everything, go and do my tapasya, or just do work in devotion? He wants to know that. And then second verse, Krishna is going to tell him, both are equal, in the sense that both are taking you to the same goal, but he is emphasizing working with detachment as easier and superior. Let's see how. All beings constantly making plans for the future, right? So what is happening? We are getting thoughts. These thoughts, what we do, it changes, it manifests into action, whatever. That is why they say thoughts are very, very important, because it manifests into action. And then we keep doing the same action over and over again. That becomes habit. You must have learned in your management studies also. And once this repeated action forms habit, that makes up our character. And then character determines our destiny. So how to take steps in the right direction in our life, 5th chapter kind of describes it. So there are 2 steps, right? 1, it will entangle us further in this worldly matters, or it will lead us to a life of liberation, freedom, and tranquility, and peace, of course. So let's see what is Arjuna's confusion. So what is Arjuna's confusion? Arjuna said, you say Work for sense activity must be given up. Don't apply your senses. Don't get attached to anything. Fighting for a kingdom, even with knowledge of soul, seems like activity to me. He says it is activity of senses because you are fighting for a kingdom. So it is an activity. Therefore, it should be given up, Krishna. So if one works with devotion, then how work is stopped? You are still working, right? You are saying work with devotion. Then how work is stopped? Work is continuously going on. You speak in riddles, Krishna. Action in inaction, inaction, inaction. I am confused, he says. So this is very interesting here. So why? Arjuna is still confused. Why? What is it to work in renounced spirit, right? So Krishna's plan. It is all Krishna's plan to keep Arjuna confused. Arjuna is thinking that jnana means renunciation, chhod do sara kaam, and that knowledge and work, like light and darkness, are contradictory. He says, kaise ho sakta hai? This is knowledge, this is work. How knowledge means you just leave everything and go. Then you are saying work and devotion. So these are both contradictory, like light and darkness. Krishna is saying, however, that one in knowledge should also work. So why Krishna is saying so? He's saying for a benefit. To stress that work and renunciation are not opposed to each other. Rather, one must learn to work in a renounced spirit. So what is Nishkam Karma Yoga? So when we come to Nishkam Karma Yoga, we need to understand that I am not the material body. I am a soul. I am part and parcel of Krishna or Supreme Lord. I should work for him and in a detached spirit. That is the actual what is Nishkam Karma. We'll be coming across this Nishkam Karma Yoga a lot. So it is very, very important that we know what it is, right? So please tell me if you don't understand that, okay? So who is a Nishkam Karma Yogi? Who are you, if you ask? So it will be I am servant of God. Then what work do you do? If we ask Nishkam Karma Yogi. So he says, I do anything that is allotted to me by God. How do you do the work? I work with sincerity, dedication to the best of your ability. Whatever job you are in, work with sincerity and dedication. You should not stop work. What do you do with the results? You have got something, right? What do you do with the result? I hand it over to the God. This is what Nishkam Karma Yogi says. So I'm a servant of God. I work allotted by God. I work with sincerity and dedication to the best of my ability. And then I hand it over to God. So that is what we need to understand. That's the crux of the whole matter. So which is work with devotion or renunciation of work, the confusion that Arjuna is having. So let's see what he says. We go to verse number 1. Arjuna uvacha sanyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yachreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Any takes, anyone wants to anyone volunteers here to read? Anyone wants to? Or if yes, anyone wants to read? Okay. Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?" Arjuna is asking, like we just said, which way to go, what to do. Because he praised both, right? Renunciation and work with devotion. Arjuna is confused because you're giving same. You're saying do this also, do this also. What is more important? So let's actually review the context of this. Where did it come? How this confusion has come in his mind. Let's see this in this graphic thing. Chapter 2. In the first chapter, Arjuna was sad, right? Because and then Lord Krishna began to tell him all the spiritual knowledge. Main tumko gyan deta hu. Then chapter 2. In second chapter, what happened? Lord Krishna explained to Arjuna that soul is immortal. Soul nahi marega. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam, right? Dahati pavaka. So nobody would die in the war. So it is foolish to even lament also. Don't cry for this. Then he reminds Arjuna that it is your karma, it is your social duty. As a warrior, you must fight on the war of righteousness. But then karma, it binds one to the fruits of the action. So Lord Krishna is encouraging him to dedicate all the work. भी अपना कर्म पूरा भगवान को सौंप दो. Give actions would become karma yoga then, because yoga means unite with God. Then comes third chapter. Person who is situated on the platform of knowledge no longer has to duties to perform. In third chapter, he says, because why? Because Krishna is explaining that you must do your duty. Duty is important because it helps to purify our mind. Why you're supposed to do any job? घर में बैठो संन्यास ले लो? No. Duty is important because it helps us to purify our mind, because we are dedicating it to God, right? But he also said that one who has already developed purity of mind pura pure ho gaya, he need not do anything. That's what Krishna is trying to explain. In 3.17, he had explained that. Then comes chapter 4. Chapter 4, what he was talking about, all kinds of sacrifices. Remember, works can be done for the pleasure of God. Then he concluded. He said, sacrifice performed in knowledge. You should have knowledge. When you are doing some puja, you should have knowledge, not just keep doing something. Mechanical, ritualistic, no. You should understand what you're doing. So you need to have that knowledge when you're doing that sacrifice, he says, right? Then in last line, he says, last verse 4.41, he says, get up, fight, right? You must do your duty. So these instructions, it's again confusing Arjuna. He thought karma sannyas means renunciation of work. Karma yoga means work in devotion. It looks like opposite in nature. So chapter 5. Chapter 5 is saying work in devotional service. Work in devotional service, Krishna says, is better than dry mental speculation. Because why? Devotional service mein kaam karna means it is transcendental, spiritual, and it will free you from any reaction. You won't get bound by any reaction, and it is easier. Lord Krishna has confused Arjuna. Arjuna, what is he understood? He thinks that if renunciation means sannyas, go to the forest and do some activity. So Arjuna is completely confused about it. He says it's not possible to perform both simultaneously. So he is raising his doubt before Lord Krishna. Did you all understand this verse, first verse till now? Please say yes or no at least.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Let's go to verse 2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasah Karma Yogascha Nishreyasakaravubhav Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. He's going to clear that out. There are about 29 shlokas in this. Only one shloka by Arjuna. The rest all Krishna is going to answer. The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Now Krishna is answering, right? He's comparing both karma sannyas and karma yoga. Very, very deep verse. So I will take a little bit time in this one because we have to understand each word at a time. Who is a karma yogi? Anybody who can tell me who is a karma yogi? According to your understanding. Okay. A karma yogi is the one who is both spiritual and does social duties also. Because social duties are done with the body, right? And while the mind is attached to God. So he's both. He's doing physically, he's doing his work, and mentally he's attached to God. He's always thinking, think always that all your actions are being observed by God and Guru. Remember that. Whatever, even in your mind also you are thinking. Right now, Mataji is asking me a question. I have to answer that. Whatever is coming in your mind, it's being observed by God and Guru. So this is sadhana of Karma Yoga. He is gradually elevating himself, right? From bodily consciousness to spiritual consciousness. He is gradually going. Karma sannyas, it is for elevated souls already who are in a very, very high position, you can say, like CEO, high position, who have already risen above the bodily platform. So who is a karma sannyasi? Can anyone tell? Now we told about karma yogi, right? Now what is a karma sannyasi? What does he do? He is the one who discards all social duties. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, basically, karma yogi. You said what I need to say. Karma. That. Could you please repeat?
Karma yogi is the one who does his duty. The normal what worldly duties, everything he does. But everything, his mind mentally is attached to God. Complete devotion to God. Bodily functions he is doing. He is doing everything here. Whatever we need to do in our world, right? His duty, karma. And yog means connecting to God. Results, everything he is devoting it to God. So what is a karma? Who is a karma sannyasi then?
Okay, so I'm not. I mean, in karma yogi means I'm not socially involved. I'm totally engaged in devotional service.
No, you are doing your duty also. You're going to your job. You're
Okay,
doing
okay,
your
both.
office work. Yeah. And karma sannyas will be the one who discards social duties. Karma sannyasi will discard social duties due to complete absorption in God. He will completely engage himself in spiritual duties. He is karma sannyasi, not karma yogi. So those who are practicing karma sannyas, they do not consider themselves to be the body. And as a result, what they don't feel obligated to discharge their bodily duties. Kuch nahi karna, bas meditation, complete devotion to God. So such karma sannyasis, what happened? They dedicate their full time and energy in spirituality. While karma yogis, they have to split their time because they have that worldly duties they have to do, and then they have their spiritual duties. They will have to do both. So they have to balance and they have to split their time. So karma sannyasis they move faster towards God, right? While karma yogis, they are burdened with social duties. But in this verse, Lord Krishna again is praising karma yogis. Why? Beyond karma sannyasis, he is praising karma yogis. Tell me why. Any ideas? He is recommending Arjun to take karma yoga. Why?
Because he has to, he has to do his duty also, and
Yes.
his duty is kshatriya, like he's kshatriya, so he has to perform his duty.
Excellent. But why can't he take karma sannyas? What is the danger?
He can take karma sannyas, but Mataji, actually he's kshatriya, and I think in kshatriya his duty is, you
To
know,
fight.
duty should be prioritized first, then later it's, I think
Very nice.
if Krishna says, and Krishna, he give him, he just do karma sannyasi. Maybe
Yeah.
he can go and he can join karma sannyasi. So Mataji, can we say that Prabhupada was karma sannyasi, or our temple president Namanishya Prabhuji, or our Delhi temple president, those were karma sannyasi?
Karma sannyasi is like they are not doing, like here they are karma yogis. Right now they are doing everything for the welfare of the society. Karma sannyas, I will tell you what is karma sannyas, you will come to understand now. See, karma sannyasis are exposed to danger. How? If they have renounced their duties, they by chance if having renounced their duties, they cannot absorb their mind in God. For example, let's say they have denounced their duties, they're not doing anything, but they have completely cannot absorb their mind in God. What will happen to them? They are left neither here nor there. ना यहाँ के रहेंगे ना वहां के, because they are supposed to leave everything. They are going and sitting in the forest. They are absorbing their mind in God, but for some reason they are not able to. So then they are neither doing their duty nor they are able to completely focus on God. That is why in India also you can see there are tens and thousands of sadhus who felt they were very much detached and they renounced the world also, but their mind was not yet attached to God. So what will happen? They could not experience the divine bliss of the spiritual path. They were wearing saffron clothes. They are wearing all orange robes, but they are they include themselves in very gross kind of activities, like smoking opium. There are so many sadhus there. So it is only the ignorant who think that their laziness as detachment from the world. It's laziness is our temple president says, I do not want any devotee to sit idle. मैं पूजा मैं I will do dedicate. No, you have to work also. Work is very equally important because Krishna recommends that. It's sheer laziness, nothing more. So on the other hand, what happens? Karma yogis, they do both. They are doing their worldly duties also, and they are doing their spiritual practice also. So if their mind by chance, their mind turns away from spirituality for some reason, let's say, at least they can fall back, right? They have their work to fall back upon. So karma sannyas is only to be pursued under a expert
They're
guidance of
totally,
a guru.
engaged in devotional service, and they're just doing seva.
Seva. Who? Karma yogis. Karma yogis, right? Yeah. So karma sannyasis is only pursued under expert guidance of a guru. Did you understand this much? Karma sannyas, why it is so dangerous and why only elevated souls go for it? That is why Krishna is recommending to do devotional services better than renunciation of work. Clear? Is that clear? This verse is clear, everyone?
Yes, Mataji. Now it's clear.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Let's move. ज्ञेयस्य नित्यसन्न्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते. Karma yoga or karma sannyasa. Krishna is saying renounce the results, not the action. One who neither hates nor desires the fruit of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, liberated from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. O mighty armed Arjuna, says Krishna. So karma yogis, they are doing their worldly duties, right? Internally, they are practicing detachment. Andari andar. So they accept both positive, negative, whatever results are coming with equanimity, right? Ye Bhagwan ki marzi, it's the grace of God. They keep saying that. They keep telling themselves. So Lord has designed this world so beautifully. It makes us experience both, right? Happiness, sadness, and slowly, because we are absorbing everything and accepting everything, the moment we start accepting everything, it's the will of God. We are gradually elevating ourselves spiritually. So if we continue to lead our regular lives and keep tolerating whatever is coming our way, doing our duty sincerely, hard work, like karma yogi, we did, right? Qualifications of karma yogi. So this whole world is gradually pushing us towards the spiritual evolution. अपने आप ही हम ऊपर भाग रहे हैं, right? I think you know this very nice story that comes to my mind about this piece of stone that needed to be carved. किसी को idea है वो? A sculptor wanted to carve a stone. Anyone knows this story? If you know, you can share. No? Okay. So this beautiful stone was there. He said, "Can you please make me beautiful?" It tells the sculptor. Sculptor says, "Okay, I'm ready to do that. But are you ready for it?" The stone replied, "Yes, yes, yes. I'm also ready." Sculptor took the tools and he started hammering and chiseling the stone. The stone screamed, "What are you doing? Please stop. This is so painful." The sculptor says, "You want to become beautiful. So if you want to become beautiful, you have to bear the pain." "All right," said the stone, "go ahead, keep doing it. And please be gentle, please be considerate." Sculptor again continued doing it. It was very difficult. Stone kept on screaming and screaming and screaming. Says, "Enough for today, I can't bear it anymore. But please do it tomorrow." Sculpture was undeterred. He kept on doing it. And within few days, he completed the task, and the stone was transformed into beautiful deity, temple deity, fit to sit on the altar of the temple. Everybody was going and saying, "Wow, so beautiful, so peaceful, so nice." And they would worship that same stone that was lying on the ground. In the same way, if you see our heart, how is our heart? It's very rough. It's having very unfinished, quality wise, because of endless of lifetimes of attachment in the world, right? So if we wish to become internally beautiful, we must be willing to tolerate the pain. We must be willing to let the world do the job of purifying us, right? Mushkile आएंगी, problems hongi. And sometimes people say, devotee, I'm such a devotee, I chant so many rounds, I do so much, but still sare problems mujhi ko aate. Yes, it is for the test. We need to pass that test and we need to purify. That helps us purify ourselves completely. So it is doing the job of purifying us. So karma yogis, that is why they work with devotion. They are equipoised in the results. Kuch bhi ho jaye, we are same, equal, right? And they start practicing, they attach their mind towards God. Just do your duty, but do it sincerely. Is this verse clear? We can see the summary over here. True sannyasi, you look at the picture. He is doing all the devotional services. Every time, whatever you may drive, you may do cooking, you may do reading, you may be studying for your exam, you may be, but put Krishna there. Do everything. So how Krishna person is a true sannyasi? He is perfect in transcendental knowledge, right? If you have the result of perfect transcendental knowledge is you will be liberated. So you do not hate anything, you do not desire anything. Everything sab chal raha hai, sab ho raha hai, everything is happening. Whatever comes, there is no duality, right? That is what one who is in fully Krishna consciousness is always a renouncer, because he feels no hatred, no desire for the results. One such person was Haridas Thakur. 11.1, we did Haridas Thakur story. Anyone remembers this one? Yes? Ambika, Mataji, Aditya, Bhavna, Manisha, Priyanka, Ramita, Nehashish. Anybody remembers this? No? This one, Haridas Thakur. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. This one is Haridas Thakur. He says, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. He says, be as humble as a blade of grass. And he says, as patient as a tree. It gives us shade. It gives us so much. And Amanina Manadena. Don't expect others to respect you. You give respect to others. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Always keep praying to God. If you tell me that you don't remember the story, I will tell you in the end. Please let me know now. Do you remember the story, or should I tell you in the end?
Mataji, Jagai Madai story with the Haridas.
No, Haridas Thakur. That this was about that prostitute being sent to him to defame him. No.
Okay,
Yes,
not ever.
Yes, Mataji, I know the story.
Can you tell in short?
Mataji, Haridas Thakur used to chant every day, but the prostitute used to come to him, and then Haridas used to tell that after chanting, then I will entertain you.
Yes.
So the prostitute used to sit, and Haridas Thakur used to chant, and he never used to end his chanting. So even the prostitute got inspired, and then even she turned into Krishna conscious person.
Excellent.
By just hearing the chanting.
Yes, yes. He was such a great Vaishnava. Very nice. Bhavna, you remembered it so nice. We did it in level 1. He used to chant the name of Krishna 300,000 times, He chanted throughout. And he was a great devotee. That is why they say we need association of devotees, because if you are in the association of devotees, you yourself become purified. It is very, very important to keep inspiring each other and keep doing it. So you're absolutely right. That's what he actually inspired her. And in the end, she became a great Krishna devotee. And it was a conspiration to defame him, but they could not do it because he was a great devotee. And he said, I know that they want to defame me, but I know all that, but it's not going to happen. He changed the character of that prostitute. People greatly appreciated that, and they glorified Haridas Thakur and offered obeisance. He liberated the soul. Like how a lotus leaf is untouched by water. He actually was brought up in Muslim family, and great, right? 180 rounds per day. That is why he was named as Namacharya. So because of this reason. And he always followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. And that is why Shishtashtakam shloka is there, na? Trinadapi sunichena karorapi sahishtuna amanina manadena kirtaniyasya sadaharihi. So this was a great story about how a devotee can always be untouched. So let's move on to verse 4. Thank you so much, Bhavna. Sankhya yoga prithak balaha pravadanti na panditaha ekamapyastita samyak ubayor vindate phalam. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from analytical study of material world, that is Sankhya yoga. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieve the results of both. So Lord Krishna is using the word Sankhya to refer karma sannyasis here in this verse, or renunciation of action, right? So it is very important to understand that renunciations are of two kinds. That is Phalgu Vairagya and Yukta Vairagya. You are in level 2. So that is why I'm going further a little bit to make you understand that renunciation also is two. One is Phalgu, waste, and Yukta Vairagya. So we will understand that what is it. And Krishna will explain this, that incomplete renunciation is Phalgu Vairagya. Means you are renouncing things related to Krishna and thinking them, oh, I should not touch. Some sadhus say, I don't want to touch money. It is a material thing. I don't want to touch, and with the desire for liberation. But that's not happening. Then what's the point? And Yukta Vairagya means complete renunciation. In what way? Everything belongs to Lord. So now our temple president is building temple. He's building temple for the all the devotees. So he is accepting donations. He is accepting money. He's not saying, oh, I don't want to touch it. That's Phalgu Vairagya. This Vairagya is doing everything for Krishna. That mandir is not for him. It's for devotees. So he is accepting donations. He is doing all the kinds, whatever is doing. That's Yukta Vairagya. Understanding that everything belongs to the Lord. Use everything for his service. And don't claim any proprietorship. Don't say, I am the owner. He is not. It's Krishna. It's Krishna's. That's Yukta Vairagya. So Phalgu Vairagya is where people look down upon this world as, oh, it's so cumbersome, it's so difficult, this dunya hi bekar hai, I should renounce and get away from here. They desire, they don't want to take up any responsibility or hardship, right? Phalgu Vairagya means it's like an escapist attitude. You want to escape from this world. And that's unstable, renunciation of such persons, it is motivated by the desire to run away from difficulties. Face it. So when such persons encounter difficulties on the spiritual path also, they become detached from there also. And then they desire back to worldly life. They're running here to and fro. They go there, it's not happening. They come back to worldly life. They try over here, nothing is happening. They again escape. Oh, I don't want to do any job. This job is bekar for me. They run away. Oh, I want to do meditation. No, that's not right. Whereas Yukta Vairagya means where people by their own desire want to serve God with whatever he has given to them. He may have given little bit also. So Yukta Vairagya, it's stable. And whatever difficulties come in his path, he is ready to face it. So Karma Yogis, while they are doing their duties also, externally they are doing their duty. They go to office, they come back, they take care of the family, whatever. But sentimentally, they are Yukta Vairagyas. They are stable, renunciates. They see themselves, Main Bhagwan ka sevak hu, I am the servant of God. And he is the enjoyer. So they become fixed in that consciousness, right? They do everything for his pleasure. And their internal state, it is completely like a karma sannyas. Internally, they are karma sannyasis, completely absorbed in that divine consciousness. Externally, they may appear to be worldly people, but internally, they are no less than sannyasis, right? Can you give any examples of such kind of karma yogis in the history who were always in Krishna consciousness? We learned in Puranas or Indian history. Any idea? Who were absorbed in God consciousness? The devotees. But they were kingly duties. They were doing their kingly duties also. Any one example you can think of? Dhruvamara, yes. Yes, Neha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I can only think of 6 Goswamis, like Rupa Goswami, then
Yes.
Sanatan Goswami, Bhatta Juga.
Yes. They were all great karma yogis also, yes. Prahlad Maharaj, he became a king, but he was completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Dhruva Maharaj, he went to the forest in the desire of getting the kingdom, but as soon as he saw God, he forgot everything. He said, oh, I don't need anything, God. Ambarish Maharaj, completely absorbed in, they were all kings. They were ruling. It's not that they stopped working. They were working. They were kings. Prithu Maharaj, Vibhishan, King Vibhishan, Ravan's brother. Then Yudhishthir. They were all great kings. They were doing their worldly duties, but mentally they were karma sannyasis, right? Did you understand this? Shall we move on? Hare Krishna. Everyone can unmute themselves and say yes or no. I can explain again if you don't understand something.
Understood, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yat Sankhye prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam Sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sa pashyati. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are. Very, very nice, right? In spiritual practice, what happens? The intention of the mind is what matters, not the external activities. Bahar kya kar rahe is not important. Internally, what you are thinking is very, very important. One may be living in Vrindavan, holy land of Vrindavan, but the mind is completely, oh, Mumbai mein I should go, I should eat pav bhaji there, then vada pav, then pani puri. Mind is Rasagulla in Kolkata. So you are kind of living in Mumbai or Kolkata that time, even though you're living physically in Vrindavan, you mentally are there thinking about all that. Or however, on the contrary, you can see if a person is living in the hubbub of Mumbai or Kolkata or Delhi or wherever, but he is completely absorbed in the divine land of Vrindavan, he will get the benefit, right, of residing there. So mental thing is very, very important. That is why I said, first thing, intention of mind is very, very important. So those who do not possess this spiritual vision to see the external distinction between karma sannyasi and karma yogi. Now, Snehashish Prabhuji was asking, what about temple president? What about our founder Acharya? How about Delhi president? All they are karma yogis externally, karma sannyasis within. Did you get your answer, Prabhuji? So,
Yes, Mataji.
yeah. So internally, what is your intention is very, very important. So those who do not possess this spiritual vision, they see external distinction between, oh, he's a karma sannyasi, he's a karma yogi, and may think that karma sannyasi is greater or superior. He is sitting all the time and doing meditation because of externally you see him always, like a sannyasi, right? But those who are learned and they have got this knowledge now, Bhagavad Gita, they will be able to see that karma sannyasi and karma yogi have absorbed their minds in God. So they are both identical in their internal consciousness. It is internal consciousness that is very important. Externally, we may be doing whatever, but internally, how pure you are, that is very, very important. So in many ways, Sankhya Yoga and karma are similar. That's what Krishna is trying to explain. And let's see the similarities. You see, both if you see Sankhya and Karma Yoga, they both neither hate nor desire fruits, both free from dualities like happiness, sadness, kuch bhi ho, koi baat nahi. Both are liberated. They come, whereas Sankhya Yogi, Karma Sannyasi comes to understand that he is a soul, not this body, and then he becomes detached from the worldly activities. Pura leke Himalaya mein ek kone mein jaake baithne ka. But whereas Karma Yogi will be, he also comes to understand that he is a soul and not a body. And then what he happens is he becomes attached to working for Krishna. That's the difference. Hope you got it. Okay, let's move to verse number 6. Sanyasastu mahabhavo dukkhamaptuma yogatah yoga yukto muner brahma nachirena gacchati. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So you are living in the Himalayas, living in the cave in Himalayas. Yogi feels, oh, I am renounced. But when is the test? His test of that renunciation comes when he returns to the city in the worldly things, right? But let's say example, ek sadhu gaya tha. He has been practicing his austerities, tapasya and all that for 12 years in some Himalayan cave mountains. Then he comes down to Haridwar. There is a Kumbh Mela. So he comes down for Kumbh Mela. And in that hustle and bustle of all that, somebody accidentally puts his shoe on Sadhu's bare feet. And Sadhu immediately gets very angry and screaming, hey, what are you doing? Are you blind? Can't you see? Can't you see where you're going? You're just stamping my foot and all. Then he starts repenting. Oh my God. I went there to do meditation, to get over all my anger, everything. 12 years of austerities in the mountains got washed away by living one day in the city. This world is the place, it is the arena where, our renunciation gets tested. So in this verse, Lord Krishna is telling that we must perform while performing our own duty, we should slowly learn to rise above anger, above greed, above desire, right? Instead, what happens, some people, they first give up everything and they go and start doing tapasya. They haven't even purified their mind, they haven't even come up with all this, so if if you first give up your duty, it is very difficult to purify your mind. How will the mind get purified? It gets purified when you face these difficulties. That's what helps you to purify your mind. So, and without pure mind, what happens? The true detachment, it will remain like a dream only. You can't detach yourself completely, because we are propelled to work by our nature, right? Even Arjuna, he was a kshatriya, like very rightfully, as Snehashish Prabhuji was telling, he's a warrior. So artificially, if he renounces everything, his duty, and runs away from the war and retires into the forest, what will happen? His nature will again push him to work. So he's a Kshatriya. So what would he do? Even in that forest, he will try and gather tribesmen. Come, come, come. And then natural inclination, right? He wants to rule, he wants to do, he has a talent for that. So what he will do? He will say, okay, I will be your king, I will rule you. In the forest also, he will do the same thing. So that is why Lord Krishna said, no, 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 continue to fight. But, just make one small change. First, you were fighting. You wanted to save your kingdom, right? That is why you wanted to fight. Now do one thing. Simply dedicate your service unselfishly to God. So in this way, what will happen? Naturally, you are purifying your mind, right? And you will achieve renunciation from within. So let's see the example of a fruit on the tree. Unripe fruit that is on the tree, it will cling to the tree, right? But the same fruit, when it is fully ripe, what happens? What happens to a fully ripe tree? It will fall down from the tree, right? It severs its connection from the sustainer. Similarly, material existence, this karma yogi, he gets experience that matures into wisdom. हम अभी world के साथ जुड़े हैं, we are still raw, right? So we are clinging. The moment we'll get this wisdom and knowledge, we can become karma sannyasis, right? So like same, sound sleep, अच्छा सा नींद आना है, तो what? We must work very, very hard. Then we get good sleep. Similarly, sound sleep is possible for those who have worked very hard. So deep meditation, when can you get deep meditation? If you have purified your mind through karma yoga. Did you understand this point? Yes? Shall I move on?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So let's see the summary so far of next 5.7 to 12. How to perform Nishkam Karma. Now you know what is Nishkam Karma. So how to do it? So you have to identify neither with your body nor the activities the body performs. Detached action. He is freed from the reactions of his activities. So now how to perform? Now we know what is Nishkam Karma. So how to do it? Let's see. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So the word Atma, Vishuddha Atma, has been used multiple ways in this Vedic literature, sometimes for God, soul, mind, intellect, so many times Atma has been used. So this verse is, using all these uses. Lord Krishna is describing the Karma Yogi as Yoga Yukta. Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma, because Yoga Yukt, united in consciousness with God. So he says that such a noble soul, he is Vishuddha Atma, means his purified, his Atma is purified intellect. Vijit Atma, he's conquered his mind. Vijay kar diya mind ko. Vijit Atma, Vijay kar liya mind ko. Jitendriya, one who has Indriya. Indriya means senses. Jit Indriya, Jeet liya Indriya ko, who has controlled his senses. Did you understand? Yoga Yukto, who is completely in consciousness, God consciousness, yoga. Then Vishuddha Atma, very purified intellect, Shuddha Atma. Vijit Atma, he has Vijay kar liya mind ko. Jitendriya, Jeet liya Indriya ko, control the senses. Very nice, right? Such karma yogis with purified intellect, they see God situated in everyone, and they behave very respectfully towards everyone without attachment. So their actions are not motivated. They don't have any desires. कुछ भी selfish desire नहीं है. बस अपना blissful रहने का. And then they are progressively, they are, moving ahead. What, why, how does it happen? This devotional service, it leads us to, realize knowledge from within. So in this way, what happens? Karma Yoga, it will bring about successive stages of enlightenment. He becomes no different from karma sannyas, because he's also doing the same thing what karma sannyas is doing in the forest. So there is nothing much to do. If you can get that stage even living here as well, says Krishna. नैव किंचित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन् प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् निमिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्. Person in divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, breathing, always knows from within himself that he's actually not doing anything at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, opening, closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with the objects, and he is aloof from them. So whenever we are getting something we accomplish, right, we become very proud. Are mujhe mila, I did it, so I got it. So this pride of being the doer of one's action, that is the stumbling block. Wahan pe hum log maar kha jate hain, because we have to rise, above this material consciousness. But God consciousness, karma yogis, they overcome this obstacle with ease, because they have purified yoga yukto vishuddhatma, right? So purified intellect, they see themselves separate from the body. So they do not attribute anything, any bodily actions to themselves. Maine kiya hai, main, aham, wo nahi hai. So the body is made up of material energy of God. So they attribute the work, whatever God has given, giving back to God. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Since they have surrendered to the will of God, they depend upon him to inspire their mind and intellect. How to get inspired? God will inspire you. Some people say, if everything I renounce, then how will I be motivated to do work? God will inspire you. And he will inspire the mind and the intellect according to the divine will. He will do it. He will help you. So they remain situated in understanding that God is the doer of everything. He will guide me further. So in that divine consciousness, karma yogis, they see themselves, I'm just a mere instrument of God. So Lord Krishna will explain the consequence of working in this kind of consciousness. Let's see that. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न च पापेन पद्मपत्र विमांभसा. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto God, is not affected by sinful action, as lotus leaf is untouched by water. This is a very beautiful analogy, because another word for this lotus is pankaj also. Pankaj also means born from mud. Mitti se nikalta hai. So the lotus flower, it grows from the mud, right? It is found at the bottom of the lake. Yet it rises above the water and it blossoms towards the sun. Very nice, right? When you notice lotus flower this time. So lotus flower has been used in this Sanskrit literature like an example, of something that is born in the dirt, mitti mein, and then it rises above, retaining its purity, beautiful purity. So lotus flowers, it has large leaves and that float above the water on the surface of the lake. You must have seen. Have you seen lotus flower? We see lotus leaves also being used in villages. They use it as plates. Have you?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is used for also Lakshmi Puja
Yes, yes.
in Bengali culture.
Okay, nice. You're a Bengali? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Oh, very nice. So yeah, even in villages also they use it as plates because they're waterproof. And the liquid, whatever you pour over it, it does not soak and it runs off. So, what is the beauty of this leaf is although it owes its birth to the water, the leaf does not permit itself to be wet. It remains, it's waterproof, right? So, whatever water is poured on the lotus leaf, it runs off the side due to there's small, small hair actually. Scientifically, if you see, it's growing on its surface. So, it does not let the water stay on it. So, Krishna is using this beautiful analogy of Padma Patra. So he says lotus leaf. Krishna is saying it is floating atop the surface of the lake, but it does not allow itself to be wet by the water. Similarly, karma yogis, they are living in this material world. They remain untouched by sin. They are performing all kinds of work, okay? But because they are performing in divine consciousness, nothing will stay on that. It will run off like lotus feet. So, how can we become like a lotus feet? Let's see that. How can we become? So, we have to be first do our duty. When we have to do our duty, what is that? That is A, B, C, D. You can see that. So, you have to completely be in the association of devotees. B means Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. C is chanting. D is the diet. Diet is the prasadam. Eat Krishna prasadam. A, B, C, D. If you remember, that is the duty you have to do. Number two, what you have to do to remain like a lotus leaf? Be detached from the results. Do your duty, but be detached from the results. And number three, what you have to do? You have to control your senses. We are running after something. We don't understand what we are running also after that. And then we die. At the end, oh my God, time has come to die. We didn't do anything. But if you are in Krishna consciousness, you are untouched by disturbances, miseries, upheavals of this material world. It's like an antiseptic measure. Like, Omicron COVID-19 came. What do? You took the antiseptic, whatever injection you had to take, that vaccine you had to take, right? Then you say, oh, I'm not, then I'm safe. I'm not affected. So Krishna consciousness is also like an antiseptic method to become free from any kind of contamination of this material world. So lipyate natsa papena. Lipyate means is not affected by any contamination, any problems of this world. Nothing affects him, right? So you have to remember ABCD. Then you have to remain detached from the results, and then you have to control your senses. Austerity. These are the four pillars of dharma. That austerity means hard work. Satyuga they used to do. They did meditation in Satyuga. They used to live like 1 lakh years. Then cleanliness for Treta Yuga was recommended because they used to do yajna. Everything has to be pure, pure ghee, pure everything. Then kindness for Dwapar Yuga was recommended. Charity. You should be kind, and they used to do a lot of temple worship. So they used to do a lot of charity to build temples and all. Now in Kali Yuga, nothing. They say, please be truthful, be honest. At least not if at all to others, at least be honest to your own self. Introspect, look inside, what are you doing? Then if you chant this Maha Mantra, it will strengthen that quality. That is why it is very important to chant Maha Mantra. Very, very important to chant Hare Krishna because it will help us to purify our mind and strengthen our mind. We will be determined. We'll get that willpower. We start by 6:50. I have not seen anyone joining the Hare Krishna, this Maha Mantra. Please join from tomorrow. Please try at least. कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या कैवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा आत्मशुद्धये. Yogis abandoning attachment act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. So the yogis are there. They understand. They understand that pursuing this material desire, this is the pursuit of happiness. This is waste. It's like, you're chasing some kind of mirage in a desert. You think that there is water and you're running, but once you reach there, it's not there. So once you realize this, you will renounce the selfish desires. and then you will perform all the actions. Okay, I will do my duty. I will do it sincerely. I will work very, very hard, but renounce everything and perform all the action in the devotion of God, right? Who alone is Bhokta Ram Yajna Tapasan Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the supreme enjoyer of all the activities, and he is the Sarvaloka Maheshwar. Krishna in this verse, he brings a like small new twist in the Samarpan Bhavana, dedication of work to God. He says the enlightened yogis are there. They perform their work for the purification of the purpose of purification. That is why they are doing, these enlightened yogis are doing their work. But how do the work get dedicated to God? If they're doing for purification process, then how the work is dedicated to God? Because they're doing for themselves, right? Fact is, God does not need anything from us. He is the supreme Lord. He's got everything that exists. He's having 6 opulences. He's perfect. He's complete in himself. He doesn't need anything. What can we, a tiny soul, offer that Almighty God that he does not even already possess? What can we give him? So, what can we give? Give everything God, samarpan everything to God. God, we are saying, but he doesn't need anything, right? But it's a customary to make an offering to God, right? Whenever we say, we must say, Twadiyam Vastu Govinda Tubhyam Eva Samarpitam. Means what? Oh God, I am offering your item back to you. This is all yours, giving back to you. Nothing is mine. What can we offer? We have nothing to give him, right? We are just a small soul. So it is very, very important to say this. Twadiyam Vastu Govinda Tubhyameva Samarpitam. Can you all repeat this? It is there on the screen, below the English translation. Twadiyam Vastu Govinda Twadiyam. Twadiyam, yes. Please say again. Twadiyam
Twadiyam Vastu Govinda.
Tubhyameva Samarpitam.
Tubhyameva Samarpitam.
Whatever is yours, I'm offering to you, God. But there is one activity that is in our hands and not in God's hand. Can anyone tell me what is that? One thing that we can do and not God. Okay, that is purification of our own heart, our own mind, our own intellect, purification of our own selves. When we purify our heart and engage in the devotion of God, it pleases him more than anything else. Realizing this, the great yogis, they make purification of heart as the foremost goal, right? Not out of selfishness. It's rather for the pleasure of God, because if we purify ourselves, सबसे ज्यादा खुश तो कौन होगा? अपने ही माँ बाप होते हैं ना. When we do something very good, our parents are so happy. So if we purify ourselves, Krishna will be very, very happy. So they understand the biggest thing that they can give to God is purity of their own hearts. That is, we must purify our mind, intellect, and heart. So they work towards that to achieve that. So our permanent asset is what is our, what will go with us? Our body will remain here. What will go with us? Permanent asset is purity that we will achieve. We are what we are actually trying to do all this. What is this lesson for? Purity. We need to move. Why this chanting is important? Strengthening our mind. Why strengthening of mind is important? So that we can purify our heart and soul. It goes with us into the next life. Well, all the material assets that you have collected over here, it will be left behind, right? So in the final analysis, what happens? The success and the failure of our life, it is determined by the extent to which we could, by which we could manage actually to achieve the purity of mind. Kitna hum pure kar sake apne mind ko, that is what is the success and failure of our life, not anything else. So in this view, these elevated yogis who are there, they welcome even most difficult circumstances also, they welcome it, because they see them as opportunities to purify the heart. And because if we work for the pleasure of God, the heart gets purified. And as heart gets purified, We naturally offer the results of our actions to Supreme Lord. It's theirs, we are giving it to him. Twadiyam vastu govinda tubhyameva samarpita. Whatever is yours, I'm giving it back to you. That's it. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayuktah kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. So how it is to be understood that performing the same action, some people, they are bound to material existence and others are released from material bondage. You may say, both of us were working in the same office. Both of us did. He has been elevated. I could not elevate. It's the hard work. How much hard work you have put. I'm talking about material world. But same thing applies to spirituality also. Internal cleanliness also. Internal purity also is the same. Both of you are trying. But one tries more. One tries very hard. And he achieves it. So Lord Krishna says, he gives the answer in this verse. He says, those who are unattached, unmotivated by material rewards, mil raha hai, achhi baat hai, nahi mil raha hai, no problem. They are never bound by karma. But those who are craving for rewards and they are obsessed with the desire to enjoy this material pleasures, they become entangled in this, the reaction of work. The work, yukta karma phalam. Yukta means unite yourself in the consciousness with God. It can also mean like not wanting any reward other than purification of heart. Yukta karma phalam tiktva. Persons who are yukt, they leave all the desires and the rewards and the actions, everything they will leave, and they will engage themselves for the purpose of self-purification that we were talking about. Naturally they get a divine consciousness. In the second line, you see, ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadhyate. Ayukta means not united with God. Yukta means united with God. Ayukta means not united with God. They are desiring for all kinds of rewards, everything. Such persons are very lustfully are desiring for the rewards of their actions. So the reaction of work what will happen? It will bind them over here in the same samsara, in the cycle of life and death. That's what Krishna explained. Yukta and ayukta in this verse. You can see attachment to results. He's still thinking about car, this, that, mujhe ye milna chahiye, wo milna chahiye. Krishna consciousness, you see, he is attachment to serving Krishna. So a cause of anxiety is what? That it's being in one's functioning, right? That in duality, I'm so happy, I'm so sad, this. No. Who is in Krishna consciousness is only attached to Krishna. He will do everything for Krishna, and ultimately he is Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kanshati samam sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktam param labhate param. So this is, he is transiently situated. He realizes he is completely joyful. He doesn't need anything, right? So we learned in that we have to be steadily devoted, everything offered to Krishna. And some who are greedy for the fruits of labor, they result in this cycle of life and death. We will just do one more shloka and we will stop here. Only 13th shloka we will do. We will talk about doer number 1. There are 3 doers. One is soul, one is material nature, and one is super soul. This is very important to understand. So I will continue tomorrow, but only one shloka I will do from here. That is the soul. Soul is the doer number 1. He knows all the body activities and he knows that everything is automatically being carried out by the modes of material nature, which is doer number 2. After those activities are sanctioned by super soul, doer number 3, attains an enlightenment through that knowledge. We need to get this knowledge that who is doer number 1, doer number 2, and doer number 3. So the knowledge of the 3 doers. One is self, the jiva. He is situated in the city of 9 gates. That is why I said I'll do 13th one, because I will make you understand what is 9 gates. Not working, causing work to be done. He is not creating any activities. He does not induce others to act. He does not create the fruits of action. Happiness, distress come from because we identify, the soul identifies with the body. That is why we are happy or sad. Otherwise, we will not be. So the one renounces the results he or she can live happily. So, understanding the three, doer number 2, material nature. You know, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. They are doing everything, but they are doing under the direction of Lord. Third is Super Soul, Paramatma. He does not take responsibility for anyone's good or bad actions. The soul is desiring, Lord will not interfere. He will sanction these desires if living entity wants it, right? Modes of nature are they're doing their job. This is the knowledge in the mode of goodness. Let's see. Slowly we'll understand. Doer number 1 we will see today for today. Sarvakarmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvana karayan. When embodied living beings controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Srila Prabhupada explained very nicely. He said, embodied soul, he lives in the city of 9 gates. Because soul has forgotten, it's spiritual in nature, superior in nature. As soon as it identifies, this is the body, this is me, he suffers. Lord Krishna is comparing this body to the opening of city of 9 gates. Soul, what is soul? He is the king of the city. So the administration has to be carried out, right? By the ministry of ego, intellect, mind, all these are the ministry carrying on. So is the reign, he's ruling over the body. It continues till when? It continues until it is time to die. Then the body is gone. So what happens? The ruling continues. The soul is still alive, right? So the enlightened yogis, they understand this knowledge. They do not see themselves as body, nor do they consider themselves as the lord of the body. I am not the owner of the body. They know that. So they hold the body, whatever activities that has to become, it is God's. They renounce all the actions through this. They remain very happily situated in the body. So in this verse, Lord Krishna has very nicely declared that the soul is neither the doer nor the cause of anything. The question comes in the mind that if God is the actual cause of these actions in the world, then what is it, right? Is God the actual cause of the actions in this world? This is the question that comes. It will be answered in the next verse. But before that, what are 9 gates? We have to understand. That will be answered, of course. This is the city of 9 gates. You have two nostrils, 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 1 vagina or penis, and 1 anus. This is called. So 2 plus 2, 4, 1, 5, and 2, 7, and 1, 8, and 1, 9. This is the 9 gates. How does one attain this body or city of 9 gates? And what is the purpose of this city? So what is the purpose of this city? This body comes because we want to enjoy, right? And why do we keep changing? Look at the life of modern people. We are running after money. Complete. That is temporary happiness. This body itself is so temporary. What are we running after? Look at the modern life. Work, home, play, sleep. This is what we know. This is what we are doing all the time. No food for soul. So what do we get in the whole process? What do we get? We get sorrow, temporary happiness. Because happiness is short-lived. Look at the picture. She's holding it. The girl is holding it and it flies away. And that's it. She's sad. That is how our happiness is. It's just sorrow, actually. So how do we attain this body or this city? It is based on what we want, what we wish, what we desire. It is based on our past karma. So it is very, very important to purify ourselves. So we are going to wind up over here. And we have to understand that Lord is blameless. He only acts as an architect. He's a facilitator, you can say. So once you attain this body, the next question that comes to our mind is, what is the purpose, right, of this city? So purpose is actually to purify ourselves. So we will end over here. Soul resides happily in the city of 9 gates. Tomorrow I'll be asking you, what are the city of 9 gates? You have to remember 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, anus, and genitals, right? So what is the cause of soul suffering? Soul is placed in the body. Solution to soul suffering, process of Krishna consciousness. You can easily revive to original position, right? You will become completely purified if you start. Where is the soul? Soul lives in the city of 9 gates. Soul has a choice, right? It has a choice. It is, you can go into this material worldly things, or you can be in Krishna consciousness. So because the soul forgets, it is of superior nature, and it starts identifying with the body. It thinks I'm my body, I'm the body, and it starts doing everything. So we will be continuing this tomorrow from verse number 14. Panchakalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone just chant Hare Krishna once with me. Hare, unmute yourself. Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.